Moving right along, I am glad to see people are really starting to fucking stand up and do something about it. Governor Abbot, the Texas tried to put in an election security bill that would fortify the election so it wasn't so goddamn easy for people in Nigeria to fucking vote in our election, even though they're goddamn from there in Nigeria, they're not legally allowed to be elected or whatever. The Democrats completely trashed our election system. Government, the Texas tried to fix it, and the Dems tried to leave to block that because the courts wouldn't listen to them. And now Abbott says all the Dems who fled Texas to block that security bill and not do their job will be arrested upon return. That's how fucking winning is done.
Winning.
It's the peaceful divorce, compromise, listening to these people. It's done. You need to actively resist the Marxist critical race garbage.
That's how winning is done.
Actively resist the Democratic Party.
That's how winning is done.
It's time to start treating these terrorists, these treasonous terrorists, like they are treasonous terrorists. But let's get into this article. And just in case this is the one that gets me banned, go to the fucking website, www.thatsomepoint.info, and fucking sign up and subscribe. I thought I fucking shut off all the ads, but they're back. Like, how does ad blocker not work?
Winning. No.
And then stop working. It's great. But yeah, become a member or at least subscribe to the website. You'll get notifications when it goes live.
Winning.
And that's just how fucking winning is done. You'll center us from the fucking garbage that we were talking about in the first goddamn segment. But anyway, Abbott says fleeing Texan Democrats will be arrested when they return to the state. Texas Governor Greg Abbott has said that the Democratic lawmakers who have left the state can and will be arrested upon their return as he pushes ahead with changing in voting laws. Fucking do it. Let's start holding these people accountable. Don't just arrest them, trial for treason, and throw them in prison for the rest of their life, and or do the constitutional thing and remove them from society the constitutionally legal dictated way.
Winning.
Abbott, a Republican, gave an interview to KVUE on Monday about the Democrats' decision to leave the state and whether the special session of the Texas legislature and the governor called can go ahead. The Democratic legislators flew out of Texas to Washington, D.C. on Monday in order to deny the legislatures the two-thirds quorum needed in order to conduct business to pass this legislation. So they actively just fucking left to stop legal business from being happened. That should not be allowed. You should at least have shown up and tried to filibuster.
Winning. No.
If you're not going to do your actual job and you're going to completely avoid doing your job, you shouldn't have your goddamn job, you fucking piece of shit.
You're fired.
KVUE asked Abbott if the Democratic walkout means the voting bill, Senate Bill 1 and House Bill 3, could not pass, and if he could do anything as governor to compel the lawmakers to return to the state. Abbott said that there still remains plenty of time to pass, not just the bills you mentioned, but there's a lot of other bills on there. Yeah, let's fucking do this. Stop being all fucking slow, computer. I need to pull my computer apart or something. It's getting bad. He highlighted some of the measures other than voting reforms. He then addressed the issues of the quorum. Answering your second question, yes, there is something the governor can do, Abbott said. First of all, I tell you what the House of Representatives can do. What the Speaker can do is issue a call to have these members arrested. In addition to that, however, I can and I will continue to call special sessions after special session after special session all the way up until election next year. And so if these people want to be hanging out wherever they are hanging out on this taxpayer-paid junket, they're going to have to be prepared to do it for well over a year, the governor said. Getting it fucking done. This is how the rest of us have to be. We have to fucking do it.
Just do it.
You fucking heard him. You have to fucking do it. You gotta listen to Shia LaBeouf.
Just do it.
As soon as they come back in the state of Texas, they will be arrested. They will be cabined inside the Texas Capitol until they get their job done. Everybody who has a job must show up to do that job, just like your viewers watching right now. State representatives have the same responsibility.
Just do it. That's how winning is done.
Winning. This gives me a fucking freedom boner. Over the weekend, Republicans in the state legislature worked to rapidly advance the two voting bills. I love to see fucking politicians getting it in the ass. Bend these people over. Those bills would add new ID requirements for mail-in ballots and ban 24-hour polling locations, drive-through voting, and ballot drop boxes, among other measures. This is fucking a good thing. Critics say these changes will make it harder for people to vote and disproportionately affect people of color. No, you people need to stop thinking people of color, black people, non-white people, are so fucking stupid they can't get IDs. And
Winning? No.
you ignorant racist trash.
You suck!
Oh my God, this is how these people fucking think of you.
Winning? No.
They think you're so fucking dumb that you can't. Abbott has repeatedly defended the new measures, telling KVUE anyone who suggests this deprives anybody of the right to vote is just simply flat out wrong. Under Texas law, absent lawmakers can face arrest and be compelled to attend the legislature. In 2003, Democrats in the legislature fled the state from Oklahoma and successfully prevented the passage of a redistricting plan. Texas Democrats staged a walkout in May and successfully stopped an earlier version of the voting legislation from passing. However, the lawmakers may have to remain outside of Texas for weeks or longer in order to prevent the current proposals from passing if Abbott continues calling a special session as he has suggested, and I hope he follows through with this. If he doesn't follow through with this after saying this, he should be removed as well. The Texas Democratic Party issued a statement on the walkout on Monday saying after Democrats historically blocked Republicans' anti-voter efforts in the spring legislative sessions, Abbott called an irregular extra legislative session in order to resurrect an anti-voter voter integrity legislation. Republicans' main hope of holding onto power in the 2022 election. We got to be voter security legislation, election integrity legislation. We can't be using their language.
Winning? No.
Not the black power fist, the red communist red salute. We have to start calling it out. We got to stop playing by their motherfucking rules. That is why we're losing. In response to Republicans' escalation of their attacks on voters, Democrats continue to hold the line, the statement said. Newsweek has asked the Texas Democratic Party for comment. I bet you they haven't motherfucking commented because they're treasonous pieces of trash that fled instead of doing their job. You could have filibustered and still got the same thing accomplished, but you didn't because you knew you would lose.
You suck!
The American people have had enough. We don't want this critical race garbage. We don't want this anti-American garbage, and we have spoken, and it's time for you to acknowledge and respect that. I'm just saying.